Let's talk about these Chinese tariffs about barley, which they aren't just threatening, they're now going to do. Well, Simon Birmingham is the Trade Minister, understandably not too happy.
And we will continue to advocate and work hard with our barley producers to present the strongest possible case to ensure these duties are not imposed in the future. We see no basis upon which they are justified, and we see no basis upon which they ought to occur, and we will reserve all rights in terms of the types of appeals or other aspects of pursuing this further that would be available to the Australian Government should the final decision go against our barley producers.
Robbie, do you think that they have, just like they did in the trade war with the United States, they specifically found things that were in, Trump districts to try to create problems there? Why barley? And obviously we know why now, but why do you think that more Australian producers can get ready for this treatment? Because we dared call them out for banning domestic travel but letting international travel take the freaking thing all over the world.
For sure, my intuitions would say this is a game of brinkmanship, and on a very big scale, obviously well above my pay grade, Paul, but I'm sure they would. I would if I was in their position. And not that it's terrible for us, and I think the answer will always be the same. And it's not a short answer, but the answer for Australians is we need to learn to stand on our own feet and produce things. And I can't get past the example of, I live in Mount Isa. I'm sitting right now on millions of tonnes of copper that we produce. We take it out of the ground. We smelt it here in Mount Isa. The smelter's on wobbly wheels in Mount Isa. We take it to towns where it's refined to 99.9%, ready to be turned into copper wire. All it needs is plastic coating on the outside and it can start going into our buildings and houses, but it doesn't. It goes over to China and comes back with value adding. And so until we can learn how to cut China out of the equation on at least some of those things, not everything obviously, but some of those things, and learn to stand on our own 2 feet, I think we'll always have a problem. We'll always have a weak bargaining position, and I would be doing what China would do in their position, and I certainly think it's a game of brinkmanship.
Yeah, Tim, do you think that there's going to be pressure on you and Deb Franklington, the wider team, to take to Queenslanders a recalibration of the relationship with China? Because we know how much of your economy is interdependent on all sorts of versions of trade, tourism, all the rest of it here. Do you think there's pressure on you guys to make that part of the platform?
Look, there's a good chance of that, Paul. I really agree with many of the things that Rob said there. We've got to make sure that we become more self-sufficient in the future. If this COVID-19 has taught us anything, is that we cannot rely on the rest of the world in a whole range of different sectors and different areas. And we have to make sure that we can become self-sufficient and more resilient. Look, they are an important trading partner, but at no time should we ever be bullied. We need to be able to stick up for ourselves and not fall to those type of tactics. And we have to back ourselves as well. One of the areas that has remained resilient right through this COVID-19 has been our resources industry. Ironically, for a state government that's been anti-resources, it's been the one steady flow of income. And so we've still got to play to our strengths, which is what this current government seems to have a problem with. So, let's make sure that we emphasise those and keep investing in those areas.
Yeah, I just think, I also think, Liz, you can feel, and I've seen the displeasure being thrown the way of George Christensen, and we've had our falling outs over the while, but I say anyone who is brave enough in Australia to call out China, to confront China, to say to an ambassador, so, well, mate, if you're willing to talk to the Financial Review, maybe you should come in and have a chat to us.
Hear, hear. I think what George is doing is a great move, and it also gives mainstream Australians an opportunity to submit submissions to this inquiry that he's heading up and is now dubbed the China inquiry, to let everyday Aussies, which is what I want to try and do, let everyday Aussies know they can write in to this parliamentary inquiry. It's like a petition on steroids, and get their thoughts, no matter what they may be, on the fact that we've become this reliant on someone who's shown us they are, in fact, an enemy. So I can't wait to see the results.